Hello, everybody. This is Michael Watson, and I am here today with Jess Marion, and I'm really excited to be talking to Jess. We are all looking forward to Hypnothoughts Live coming up in August in Las Vegas. And Jess Marion and her cohorts, Sean Carson and Sarah Carson, will be presenting a two-day pre-conference program on Deep Trance Identification. That's on the 23rd and on the 24th of August. So be sure to get out there early and be there for that pre-conference. So welcome, Jess. It's good to have you on the line today.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Michael, and hello to everyone out there. We're really excited to be jumping into DTI as an HT Live course, and we hope to see everyone there who's interested in the topic. And like I said, I'm happy to be here discussing DTI with you today. It's something that I'm really passionate about for multiple reasons, which I'm sure we'll either explore here or explore in class.
Great. Well, yeah, in fact, by the way, I might mention, certainly passionate about that you and Sean and John Overdurf have written a book on the topic of Deep Trance Identification.
Yes, we wrote a book a few years ago, which was like a culmination of the work that the three of us had done, not together. John had been working with DTI back in the 1990s as a tool within photo reading. And then Sean and I began to experiment with it back in 2012. And this book is the result of all of the things that we've discovered, the patterns that have been created, and our client work through DTI. And since that time, we've also produced a couple of other books within the DTI genre, including the DTI Companion, which is a step-by-step manual for people who want to use DTI on their own. We give a number of different worksheets and ways of facilitating your own modeling project. And then Sean's most recent book, The Reality Distortion Field, which was the result of his DTI project with Steve Jobs.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I wonder just as we're getting underway here, just for the benefit of people who aren't really clear or don't have any experience about it, can you sort of give us an idea what is Deep Trance Identification?
Sure. Deep Trance Identification in its formal form really came about in the 1960s as a tool for learning. Primarily, it was used as a tool for learning music. A guy named Vladimir Rykov was the first to develop it as a hypnotic technique to work with students at the Moscow Conservatory. And from there, it made it over to the US when people started to get really interested in the type of hypnosis work that was coming out of the Soviet Union at that time. And it fell into the hands of people like Bandler and Dilts, and ultimately Steve Gilligan, who is renowned for his modeling project with Milton Erickson. And Deep Trance Identification is the idea that through hypnosis, you're able to access the experiences of someone else, of a model that you've built up a number of unconscious reference experiences for. Meaning this isn't just somebody random off the street, but this is a person who has certain skills, abilities, traits that you would like, at least in some aspect, for some context in your life. And the idea is that you can associate into that model fully and completely so that for a short period of time, you become that other person. You possess them, if you will.
Great.
And what ends up coming from that is an integration between all the finer points of the model and all of the finer points of you. And it's a highly generative technique. The idea here is you can use hypnosis to learn, and to learn on a really profound level.
Mm. Well, and I'm a fan because you've recently done a hypnosis course where one of the ways that you were helping people integrate some of the skills of hypnotherapy was to do Deep Trance Identification with Milton Erickson in order to accomplish that. And that was really a great thing, Jess.
Thank you. That for me was really a labor of love, because that's how I initially learned hypnosis, was through DTI with Erickson. And to this day, DTI with Erickson and a few other people is my go-to within the hypnosis field to expand my own ways of thinking about certain clients or about teaching certain materials. So I continuously go back to it and bring it back to life, and it inevitably becomes new and different. And I can't explain enough how incredibly generative Deep Trance Identification is.
Nice. All right. What's going to happen in the course? What will it be?
So in the course itself, it's broken down into two modules. The first module, day one, is going to be all about everybody in the class. It's about you as the participant. And we'll be walking you through how to actually do a modeling process yourself so that you can begin to deep trance identify with a model of your choice in a way that's truly effective. So we'll walk you through the protocol. It's highly hands-on, so this is not a tremendous amount of theory. This is more practical. We want you to have really ingrained the steps of the process so you can replicate it. I will walk you through everything from how to unconsciously choose the appropriate model, through ecology checks, through unconscious agreement, and then through the actual modeling experience and how to set it up in a way that's effective. Day 2, we'll be taking a different transitioning to being more client-focused. We'll be sharing a number of smaller DTI techniques that you can use within a therapeutic or generative setting to help your clients. We do have a trainer's not a trainer's, a facilitator's course, which will probably be coming up in the fall if you'd like to actually lead someone through an entire DTI experience, which is a 10-week program, roughly speaking. That's a little bit different. Day 2 will be looking specifically how you can begin immediately to use DTI to create powerful change with your clients. For anybody out there who would be interested in following this into the next step, into the facilitator course, which is yet to be scheduled, this course, as well as the Ericksonian course that we just wrapped up, fulfill the prerequisite requirement to become a facilitator. So this is a hands-on course. It's a stepping stone for anyone who's really interested in developing DTI as a part of their hypnotic practice. And it's also ideal for people who are just interested in new ways of using hypnosis, new and interesting ways of leveraging hypnotic phenomena, and exploring what's really possible within your own mind. And I will say this, we've facilitated a number of different DTI experiences with students and with clients, and there's definitely some magic that happens. It's just a wonderful course, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice. So after people do this course, then they can take this out and they can start using it with their clients. You said, can you got some examples or something you'd like to share with us about the way that you've used it or incorporated it into your practice with clients?
That's a great question. So outside of facilitating full DTIs, which is something that I do as a part of my practice, with every client, I'll typically use one of the DTI processes, if not multiple. And the reason for this is that clients automatically and unconsciously deep trance identify with hypnotists. When a client comes into your office, they look to you at an unconscious level to be the person that represents who they want to become. Not that they necessarily want to be like, they want to become Michael Watson, but you become the image, the representation for their outcomes. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the reasons why I spend a lot of time about talking about and emphasizing congruence as hypnotists, because if there's anything in the hypnotist's physiology that betrays that image, it becomes really difficult for unconscious rapport to take place and to help a client to transition and evolve. So deep trance identification is a natural part of the therapeutic and generative experience of clients. Mm-hmm. So all of my hypnotic and coaching practice starts from this foundation. Nice. Then from there, it's going to be things like using deep trance identification to leverage outcomes in something called end state energy. How can you build up an image so idealized and so compelling in your client's future of themselves that they can't help but be attracted to it? Mm-hmm. This is a future self DTI. Another form of DTI that I use is the Best Coach DTI, which is a form of a resiliency strategy. And it's something that I teach clients who are coming for long-term evolution and change, which installs a part that means when they're in the outside world, they have access to these unconscious representations of all of those things that they're evolving into.
Nice. You know, it occurs to me as I'm listening to you that deep trance identification is kind of how we learn anything and everything, or how we began learning in the first place. So what you're doing is you're tapping into a natural skill, and you're actually using it more deliberately or more intentionally and with consciousness.
Absolutely. This is the primary way children learn. The earliest modality for learning that children have is deep trance identification. That's how they learn to walk. That's how they acquire language. They look at the world around them, primarily their parents. and then they dream into them. They begin to do the same things as much as their physiology allows. And then as children grow, you see this come out in the ways that they play. When they play firefighter and teacher and superhero, it looks like play on the surface, but if you dig a little bit deeper, there's a lot of really important learnings going on, including the establishment of that child's identity. And I can remember, Michael, you shared a story about when you were learning hypnosis and you would make the recordings and you would listen and then repeat back into a recorder what you heard said from the other hypnotist. Mm-hmm. And this is a really beautiful and very concrete way of doing deep trance identification. There was some part in your unconscious mind that had to step into the role of the speaker in order to bring it back out. And there was then an integration of the two, you and the speaker, to create something new.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah, in fact, now I can hardly do hypnosis without warning people that they shouldn't be operating a car or... So, well, it really sounds like an exciting program, and I think folks are looking forward to it. I'm wondering, is there anything anything else in particular that you'd like to share about this?
So I am really excited to be able to present this at Hypnothoughts Live. It really is kind of on the edges of what a lot of people think of when they think of hypnosis. It is a powerful hypnotic phenomena. In the course, we will also be exploring the neuroscientific components as to why this works and how it actually works on a physiological basis, so that you know when you're going out and doing this. This isn't just magical thinking. There are very particular processes that are happening in your brain as a participant or as a modeler that creates the success. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great opportunity to explore and to play and to really just enjoy what you can create for yourself as a hypnotist and in your own lives. So I look forward to meeting anyone and everyone who's coming. And I want to thank you so much, Michael, for giving me this opportunity to speak about DTI. And I'm, of course, looking forward to seeing you at Hypnothoughts Live. And everyone out there in the internet world watching the interview, I look forward to seeing you, if not at DTI, then at some point at the convention.
Great. Thanks, Jess. So again, the 23rd and 24th of August, Deep Trance Identification with Jess Marion, Sean Carson, and Sarah Carson. It's going to be a lovely experience. So be sure and sign up.
Yeah, thank you. There'll be a link included in this post to go ahead and just click the link and it'll take you to the registration page. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Michael.
Bye-bye. Thanks.